the MPGL Season 6. This is a tiebreaker between Insidious Idols and Titan to see who goes top of the group stage. I'm Mr. Blackadder for HeflaTV, and joining me will be Koshal once again.
Oh man, what a game the last game was, and I am just happy to be able to cast another game between those two teams. And I mean, game number 1 was also rather even, Insidious Idol winning in the end. Game 2, Insidious Idol, they had a strong chance to win, yet Titan prevailed just with their split pushing strategies, and overall just slightly better decisions in the end, I guess. But man, game 3, now it feels like a proper best of 3, although they are definitely different things, this being a best of 1 tiebreaker and the last one being a 2-game series. But it feels like a best of 3 now.
Oh, damn straight it does. And a best of 3 between these two teams, I've been more than happy to cast any day of the week. But as we go into this one, Void, banned. Razor, banned. Lycan, banned. Is it going to be a Tinker ban, though, is my question? Or are we going to see Brewmaster taken out once more?
Well, we've been lucky enough to actually not see a Tinker, although it hasn't really even been banned out. So, I guess a Doombringer would be one of the heroes to target here, kind of.
Indeed, if Doom goes through that, could equally be a big force of nature. But what kind of style are we going to see? We've seen Unorthodox, we've seen Split Push, we've seen Zeus, for Christ's sake. It's very rare I get to say that, and we've just had one hell of a series, and this could be another cracker.
Yeah, man, I am definitely hoping for one. Like you said, the series has been all sorts of crazy already. So, Titan, I guess their way of drafting, just slowing it down already for the first phase of bans, just shows how much they are actually giving thought about. It's like, Insidious Idol, they are not a pushover team by any means. We actually have to think long and hard and get the best possible draft to actually get ourselves an advantage.
You've also got to consider, you have the 65-minute, if not slightly more, game that we just came out of, plus the fact that it's getting late over in Southeast Asia. This is getting very late, so credit to these teams for joining us for one more round, and I think we're all going to agree this should be a blast. This is what we want to see, more fighting.
Yeah, and it's actually gonna be 1 AM for them. And oh, never mind, everybody's disconnected. Okay, there's a remake. Never mind, we completely missed it.
Okay.
Like, why the hell are they taking so long?
Yeah, okay. Remake. Do we know why there was a remake?
I don't know. Just maybe the first pick something was wrong.
Maybe.
Well, that I was like, it was taking way too long.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I just took a look at the chat and like, yeah, everybody's disconnecting.
Slightly suspicious, but hopefully we'll get everything loaded back in and we'll be back underway immediately because we want to see the fight. We want more games.
Yeah, we certainly do, and I'm 100% sure that both teams will actually, or would want to get this started as soon as possible because, like you said, it's getting late. It's actually almost 2 AM for them already.
It's getting very late. I will completely agree to that. It's okay. They're coin tossing for it. They didn't know who had first pick, first ban because this isn't technically a best of 3. We just came out of a best of 2, and this is a tiebreaker, so it is a coin toss. That's where the reason for the remake came in, I guess.
It must have been, and well, Titan, they choose themselves the dire side, or I guess Insidious Idol maybe chose the Radiance. Oh no, Mushi chose the dire, so okay. So Titan prefer the dire side, so first pick should be going to Insidious Idols now. They named themselves first party for a second, just swapping through the teams.
Well, as we stand, this should be one blast. I completely agree. This should be a blast. Here we go. I'm not going to bother playing the video again. There's no point.
Yeah, it's long and outdated anyway by now. We're gonna get a new one soon enough, I think.
Yep. But I think that this series is more than made up for the 2 forfeits we've had today. But we're loading in immediately. Let's get this show on the road, shall we, ladies and gentlemen? Titan versus Insidious Idol tie-break game. Who goes and wins this game advances in first place of Group A. It's a very big deal, and we're seeing an immediate ban on the Lycans, so no surprises. And I'm wondering if we're going to see the aggressive style of Insidious once more. The Zeus, the Skywrath Mage, the full potential firepower that they can bring to bear. Or are we going to see this go towards that more push, split push-oriented styles? Out goes the Void, out goes the Death Prophet. Is this going to be a Razor, a Doom, or a Tinker ban? Goodbye, Doom. So, first pick Insidious Idol. What are we going to see here? We could get the Brewmaster. That would certainly help out in their ability to brawl, their ability to fight and bring control. We could see the likes of a Razor. I don't really need to explain the Razor. Or we could see Tinker and just look for madness and insanity.
Well, of course, going for the Tinker this early on is always a little bit scary. It just gives so much time for the enemy to actually counterpick it. Although, I think last game, Insidious Idol being on the dire side, they also had first pick and they did go for a Razor then. And I think we've seen Razor in all 3 games, and yeah, Razor first pick it is. Shocking.
Aye. But on the flip side of this coin, we get Brewmaster and Viper for Titan. So you already got a natural mech carrier, and we've got the ability to put the Viper in any lane effectively. And of course, being Southeast Asian Dota, I'm expecting the aggressive style of Max Poison Attack Viper. But flip side of this coin, Skywrath Mage being brought to the bear for Insidious Idol. And this looks distinctively like their Wrath of the Thunder God strategy.
I wouldn't mind it at all. I mean, to be honest, always nice to see some different heroes. Zeus always brings a healthy amount of action into the game as well. And
I would be inclined to agree completely.
But looking at the next set of bans now, Earthshaker taken out by Insidious Idol, so I'm thinking maybe a Nature's Prophet for them now. And it would also fit the lineup.
I would completely agree. And just to answer you guys in chat, why you're wondering why this is a best of 3 now, effectively, it was a best of 2 series for the group stages. This is now the tie-break game. This is effectively separate. They just did another coin toss. It's Insidious Idols taking Radiant, Titan taking Dire. But it's all on the line here. Winner of this gets Group A, top of the board position.
Yeah, and actually, just overall to let you know who else is also in the playoffs, it's actually Invasion as well as MVP Hot 6. MVP Hot 6 were the ones getting the first place in the other group. Invasion actually coming out second. So it will most likely be whoever wins this will go up against Invasion, and the other one will go up against MVP Hot 6 in the semifinals.
This should be a spectacular tournament with these teams. I am looking forward to this one full out. But I'm wondering, I seriously am wondering here. You've got your Viper, your Brewmaster. What are your supports going to be? Do we see the Shadow Shaman go through? Do we see a Witch Doctor, a Dazzle, or a Shadow Demon? We've had a good amount of Shadow Demon tonight. That would not surprise me at all. But, equally, with Insidious Idol on the board, Razor, Skywrath Mage, do we see the Wrath of the Thunder God style once more? We're going to see a ban on the Tidehunter and the immediate Shadow Shaman pickup by Titan. And this could be phenomenal here. There comes the pushing power of Insidious Idol. I get the Venomancer. So maybe not your Wrath of the Thunder God, and maybe no Zeus this time round. Much as we would all love to see it, I don't think we're going to get it.
Yeah, I mean, since Nature's Prophet was planned out by themselves, of course, Titan having the first pick in the second phase, I think was something that made Insidious Idol ban out the Nature's Prophet there. But a Venomancer, once again, the question, a support or core?
I'm unsure. With Insidious Idol, they can do either, and I'm thinking, considering how often we see it lately, it's a core Venomancer. I mean, support Venomancer just doesn't get enough in my mind. Venomancer comes into his own when he can get that Poison Nova going with the Aghanim Scepter and just the sheer staggering amount of damage that Dot does. But, again, it does combo at least relatively okay with the Skywrath Mage. The slow is a very good one for getting Mystic Flare on top of, but is it enough? That is my big question. Is it enough?
Yeah, I mean, I have to raise the same question as well. I wouldn't mind something like a Wraith King support at the moment, to be honest, since of course Earthshaker is banned out Titan. They do go for a Batrider, and so far we've had 2 games with Batriders. Both teams have actually had the Batrider for themselves, if I'm not mistaken. And both games we've seen the Batrider lose.
It's a staggering change of pace to what we saw, say, a year ago, where Batrider was picked or banned all the time and the Batrider normally won. So it's at least nice to see variance on the Bat in some way, shape, or form. But with the Batrider for Titan, if they can find those lassos onto, say, the Razor, or more importantly, the Skywrath Mage, so he can't Mystic Flare, this could be the key strategy here. But I'm wondering, what are we going to see Insidious Idols opt for now? We've got the Venomancer, we've got the Skywrath, we have a Razor. Do we look for more push? Do we look for maybe something strength-oriented that can brawl? there are a few options here. We've already got the Ancient Seal to deal with the Brewmaster. Dealing with Viper is going to be difficult no matter what happens, and they need a way to blow up the Shadow Shaman. They can with Mystic Flare, but do they really want to invest Mystic Flare just to kill the Shadow Shaman outright? Quite possibly, but we're looking for something with high nuke damage in my mind. Something that can roam or maybe fight or brawl. Earthshaker's banned out. Tide's banned out. Centaur is gone as well. So what could we look for here? We want something that can rotate around the map and get a good number of kills, assuming this is a Corveno. Do we look for a Vengeful Spirit, perhaps?
I mean, it's possible it would be pretty nice against Batrider as well at the same time. Maybe even if you somehow get vision of him, swapping the Brewmaster into the Ancient Seal of the Skyriff Mage, for example, something like that. Although, I mean, I do think that they need themselves some proper initiation now, and actually some stuns definitely wouldn't go amiss, because last game we did see that they actually had an extremely hard time of actually staying on target. They kind of got kited around.
I can completely agree with that. Yeah, they did get kited a large amount. In all honesty, the kiting is what kept this game going.
Well, 30 seconds left only for Insidious Idol. I'm gonna have to check the chat just in case. No, nobody's disconnected. Everything is fine.
This far into the draft, I highly doubt it would have been a case of disconnects again for a remake. But
I mean, the drafter can always get disconnected. Knock on wood.
True, but it can happen, but I don't think it will. We've got 10 seconds remaining, and they're thinking, how do we counter this? They're going to go, oh, Slark. Did not see this one coming, but Slark usually tips your hand. It makes you think, yep, we want to fight aggressive. Brawling with a Slark is one of the best things you can do, because you keep stealing more and more stats with the Essence Shift. Not only that, the longer you're in a fight, the more damage you do with a Slark for the reason of Essence Shift. It's a scary thing to keep in mind, and on top of that, with a Redomancer and a Skyrath Mage, they want to fight. I can put that in big capital damn letters. They want to fight.
Thank God, man. Thank God. A brawling for the third game, the third and final deciding one, is exactly what us, the viewers, probably everybody wants to see. And Slark, actually, when Batrider used to be more popular and Slark a little bit stronger as well, it was actually a rather common pick against Batrider, because if you're fast enough to activate Dark Pact once the Batrider jumps in, the lasso won't last all that long. Decent enough against Shackles as well of Shadow Shaman, of course. Shadow Dance is always an annoying ability. So I really like that pickup.
Well, we get Shadow Demon banned out now by Titan for the last ban. What are Insidious Idols going to take out, do you reckon? We've got their 3 cores. Something to go with the Shadow Shaman, maybe the Witch Doctor?
Well,
I mean, Maledict would be very good. Death Ward is staggeringly good against this lineup so far, because none of these heroes really have a good amount of physical armor.
yeah, and they actually still wouldn't have anything to stop it either. If they want to go extremely greedy, I guess they could go for an Enigma, since they're just Ancient Seal, the only thing to stop Black Hole, but actually Witch Doctor is something I wouldn't mind at all. Just keep the heal going, especially up against Venomancer's damage over time.
Actually, Enigma would make a lot of sense with either of these teams at this point. Core Venomancer, Slark, and Razor. You put an Enigma in the jungle for Insidious Idols. He then brings the control and the lockdown you're looking for. Same for the flip side of this coin. Titan could go for the greedy lineup and take the Enigma. It would make a lot of sense. And Black Hole, very strong. And there's the Alchemist I've been looking for all night!
And you've been looking for it for days!
Yeah, I've been looking for an Alchemist pick for days. But oh, hello! Tusk for Insidious Idol. Oh, we are in for an absolute
To be honest,
show.
snowball into pounce. It's like easy setup.
Damn straight, actually. Yeah. Huh. You know, I think we've got very lucky today, Couch.
And Southeast Asian Dota hardly disappoints.
Oh no, it does not. And Tusk for the second time today. The Alchemist I've been looking for days. The negative armor an Alchemist provides as a support alch, you can just do so much. And as an Alchemist can transition into a semi-carry incredibly efficiently as well. You either get a value point into Grievel's Greed, or you just go straight out, I want to level up my stun and my acid spray. And of course, the Unstable Concoction is boosted by the acid spray just for the sheer purpose of its physical damage. Then you mix in Viper on top of that, the damage and the control that you get out of a Brewmaster. It is a staggering amount, and I'm going to use that word a lot in this game. It is absolutely staggering. But as we load in for the final time today, let's introduce the teams, shall we?
Yes, we shall. For Insidious Idol, Shagasaur Satamut leading the charge into their own part of the jungle. He's going to be on the Tusk. Bethel to play the core Slark with C-Red on the Skyrath Mage, Ysera possibly a mid lane Venomancer with KS, the stand-in, playing on the Razor, but are they going for an aggressive tri-lane, or is it going to be offlane Venom, and how do they lane this? They don't have a just standard classical offlaner.
I think it might be an offlane Venom in this one. That'll then give them the supports Tusk as well as a Skywrath Mage to rotate around as much as possible and give Slark the safe lane free farm. Then they put the Razor up in the mid, and that will probably be the best option for them. But nonetheless, not to be counted out, the flip side of this coin, we have for Titan, we have Extinct on the Shadow Shaman. Over on the Brewmaster, we've got KYXY, going to be most likely handling the middle lane. And we could potentially see a little bit of an engagement here if KS is not careful, but Brew's not going to engage this one. Pings go out, they realize he's there. Over on the Alchemist, we have WTF. And could this... I'm going to come back to this one, because this could be interesting. In the mid lane, we'll have Mushi on that Viper, so it'll be a safe lane Brewmaster, most likely. And finally, rounding out the lineup, we have Ohio on the Batrider, the off-lane specialist himself. And I have to ask the obvious question. Where are you going to put your money, Couch?
Oh man, I'm going to go with Titan. They just have the initiation power. Batrider, plus of course the laning as well, I think is going to be... Well, the tri-lane is going to be so-so. But I think Titan just has a small advantage just draft-wise.
I completely agree with you there with the slight advantage draft-wise for Titan. But Insidious Idols, I'm going to put my money on for one purpose, and that's Shagasaurus' Tusk. We've seen this earlier today, and honestly, his Tusk is phenomenal. It was incredibly powerful. It was a support Tusk. It then just started to obliterate things with the Skywrath Mage. That was the end of it. And it could be an aggressive tri-lane. We've got the off-lane Razor, so it's a mid-lane Venomancer. And Venomancer up against Viper, that should be an okay matchup, I should think, as long as he doesn't get too many points in the corrosive skin early on. That could spell doom for the Venomancer.
Yeah, I mean, actually, how do you play that mid-lane matchup like on a Venomancer? Because like you said, if there are enough points into corrosive skin, Venomancer himself will actually damage himself more than the Poison Sting does damage the Viper.
I suppose the only answer to that question is, how do you play it? Very carefully.
Well, I guess that's a good way to put it then. Actually, did KYXY come to the bottom lane straight away? I'm pretty sure Ohio was hovering around the bottom lane before, right?
Yes, Ohio was, but they seem to have switched up the lanes when they realised what's going on. And there you got Bethel, who will be able to poke and prod at KYXY. But the pounce misses as well as the ice shot. Oh, maybe a little bit too trigger happy on the mark right there. But KYXY will at least survive for now.
Oh man, it could have been so beautiful. Bethel take some damage as well doing so. Actually went for an Orb of Venom as well to harass KYXY a little bit more. Went for that early point into Essence Shift, which is usually done if you're up against a melee. But KYXY, oh, the harass just forcing out the pounce.
Well, that's one of the strengths of the Brewmaster. You can walk forward and you can brawl in your lane. You just get your crit, you walk into the lane and you just hit them. You outright just hit them and force them off the lane because the crits are so damn powerful in the early game from KYXY. The guaranteed crit every 10 seconds if he doesn't attack, but in comes the pounce. KYXY could be in a lot of trouble here. Ice Shard's going to drop as well. He could be blocked in. Yeah, there's no escaping that. First Blood goes the way of Shagasaurus on that Tusk.
Yeah, I mean, C-Red had a double damage rune as well. I mean, 44 base damage yes, is bad, but double damage is going to be good enough. Yeserado mid lane, he's in so much trouble, WTF. He's going to get the stun, 100% unstable confusion. Does connect, actually Venom scale onto 2, but little does it matter. Shackled up and Mushi, he picks up the kill.
It's a level 1 Venomous Scale. It does 0 damage apart from the initial hit. It's just there for the slow. But honestly, this is the strength of the Alchemist and the Shadow Shaman. As a roaming support combination, they are better than the Tusk and the Skywrath Mage. I will completely admit to that. And of course, the Alchemist can farm up the jungle with the Acid Spray. You also bring negative armor to the table, which the Viper loves, as well as the Brewmaster. It's a staggeringly good hero for their lineup. And from where we sit, this could be the makings of one of those 2 kills a minute, uber-aggressive games. I mean, you've got the Alchemist, you've got the Shadow Shaman, they brawl. You've got a Brewmaster, it brawls. You've got Tusk. His entire lore and background is about brawling, for Christ's sake. Tusk's storyline in terms of the lore of Dota is he just likes to fight. That's it.
Well, it's always good for us, but at the moment Insidious Idol just looking pure at the lanes and last hits. At the moment KS is struggling somewhat. He's level 4, although might run into some trouble now. He spots WTF soon enough, I think. Actually, Static Link, does he really want to go on the aggressive like that? He backs off in time, thank God for that, as KYXY actually wrote his top lane. So they're gonna have some lane swapping going on once again, but Razor not getting too much farm at all. it's not the end of the world yet, of course. Venomancer mid lane, 18-2 compared to 26-8, but since Mushi got a kill, had assistance, it's only a given as well.
I'd completely agree, but those rotations are going to help. And you were saying, sure, the Razor's not getting much farm early game. As we stand, it's a case of he's the offlane Razor. He's there just to get experience, and he's got his level 4 at 4 minutes in. He's doing okay for himself, and he's even using his plasma field to try to snipe the hard cam creeps. And he has successfully done so. He managed to pick up 1 or 2 over the time. But from where we stand, I actually think it's quite comfortable here, because Ysera's going to start building up this staggering level of push in the middle lane, and unfortunately we need another pause. Apparently the Skype fell, but that should be an easy one to recover from. And as we stand for Ysera, he's got 3 points up in the Plague Wards already. We're going to start seeing that potential siege in this mid lane on that tower very quickly, especially with the catapult wave. It wouldn't surprise me to see that at all, but the flip side of this coin, you do have WTF and Extinct lurking nearby, and they want to fight. They can just come in and they can catch Ysera off guard if he's not careful.
Yeah, this Venomancer definitely cannot allow to just for himself to die again like this. Feed the Viper, because if the Viper gets a really early mech, that's just going to mean the Titan, they can fight even earlier, and the burst heal is going to be, I think, maybe even more than Insidious Idol can go through before they get the Mystic Flare, since they actually don't have all that much burst damage at the moment.
No, they don't. They need the level 6 to come online for that level of burst damage, but the supports of Titan, they're lurking nearby, they want to fight, but equally, the Venomancer could be overstaying his welcome here. He's coming very aggressive on this tower, and could certainly pay for it. Equally, top lane, KYXY is getting a lot of his damage drained away by KS. KS versus a Brewmaster. Brewmaster should be an okay one for him to fight up against. And Bethel is just continuing on this off lane. And equally, WTF in a lot of trouble. A couple of right clicks coming from Bethel could spell his doom, especially now the Dark Pact is there, and that'll immediately remove the stun. Snowball to clean that one up as well. Bethel, will he go down? No, he won't. He survives that last tower shot, and as we stand, that's a big kill going the way of Insidious Idol, keeping that Alchemist dead.
Yeah, of course nobody's farming up the lane at the same time, but it should be fine. Do they have any regeneration into Bethel apart from the Tangos? Doesn't look like it, but he's only half a level away from level 6, and once he gets that, he can always just go into the side chop for a couple of seconds, regen up with the Shadow Dance, and just come back to the lane, farm up freely.
It's one of the nice things about the Slark. He can just be a constant pain. He doesn't need to go back to base to regen. He is a global presence. He is incredibly hard to kill once he gets his Shadow Dance. And sure, he has to worry a little bit about the Acid Spray, especially if there's another rotation, but he should be reasonably okay to farm up in this lane. And we've seen the lanes rotate now 3 times, 2 times to 3 times for Titan. They're unsure of how they want to lane this. And as it stands, you now have an off-lane Alchemist and effectively a Batrider lurking around in the jungle. But for Mushi and the rest of Titan, they just need a little time. They need their ultimates online. Primal Split, Mass Serpent Wards, hell, even Chemical Rage. These things will make it very easy for them to push into towers. They just need to deal with Ysera. Ysera on a Venomancer, it isn't one of the better heroes at level 6, considering you can't really afford the mana investment of, say, your Poison Nova. But I think in the long run, Ysera, if he can get maybe a Veil of Discord, a Aghanim Scepter, he will do a sheer staggering amount of damage in this game. And I'm going to stop using that word now, because I've used it so many times in this early game.
It sure feels like it, but Ohio, he actually picked up almost a pure 6-minute Blink Dagger. Just boost speed, Blink Dagger, nothing else. But they are already hunting with WTF in tow as well. They've smoked up, they have the lasso. I mean, Ysera, I don't think he's going to survive this one way or another.
No, not with the lasso there. Ohio will be focusing down that Venomancer, and there's no way for him to escape. They commit Viper Strike there as well, just to ensure he died quickly and didn't get any Novas off. But an extra kill going the way of Titan, so 2-2 across the board, 7 minutes in. Could start to build momentum now. Killing the Venomancer is a big one. It keeps these Poison Wards, these Plague Wards, off the map for a little bit longer.
And actually a huge thing is that Bethel, he's been farming out the bottom lane. To begin with, the Brewmaster was a little bit of a nuisance against him, but he's only 32 and 14 compared to 56 and 10 on the mid lane Viper, for example. But mid lane, oh, Tusk, they want to snowball. Ysera is around as well. They're gonna farm the snowball into Mushi. They go with the slowest there already. Double slow. Venom scale hits. Ice Shard as well, but are they actually tanky enough? Red might go down in return. Mushi, no, he's gonna get killed. Frozen Cheese is enough.
Nowhere near enough damage to kill off that Skyearth Mage, and Z-Red did the right thing in rotating away from that one as soon as he went in. And just the sheer power of that snowball will start to add up, of course. The faster it gets with more heroes in it, it's a case of, if we want to fight, we're just going to snowball into you. It's a brilliant hero, and Snowball has so many versatile uses. like cancelling Black Hole, for example, with the Enigma, or just getting in the face of the enemy. In the case of KYXY, if they can just snowball into him, they can lock him down quick enough. I mean, you consider what stuns do we actually have available for Insidious Idol? They've got the snowball. That's it. But they can deliver the silence that way on the KYXY.
By the way, I mean, just before his death almost, Mushi, he went for a Hand of Midas on the Viper. What do you actually think? Was it the smart choice? Would have a mech been better? Or, I mean, I guess them lacking a little bit of late game prowess otherwise. He just wants to ensure that his farm never really stops.
It's a hard one to call, because generally we don't see Midas on a Viper. It's going to help him get some level acceleration, and Chaos is going to be the focus of this one. He's grabbed by the lasso, a couple of right clicks in from that Viper will be enough to clean this one up, and Mushi picks up the extra kill, but from where we stand, it's an uncommon one. You and me both agree on that one. We generally don't see the Midas on a Viper. We see that rushed mechanism into, say, drums or Ags. It can work out if this game can go late, but in the mid lane we do see a little bit of a brawl start, and KYXY will come in with that Thunderclap looking for what they can, but it's a case of they've lost the Shadow Shaman who had his Mass Serpent Ward, so that's going to keep that off the board for now. And there's levels of slow coming in from Ysera and Chagosaurus is just far too much. That was a combination of the Venomancer's slows plus the Frozen Sigil. And now they're looking for more. They're going to catch WTF as well. This brawl could keep going, but WTF should be safe. Does he have Chemical Rage? He doesn't yet. He's still half a level away. They catch him with that final Gale, and down goes WTF off the back of this one. Now you've got Extinct comes in. He gets immediately hit with that Ancient Seal as well as an Ice Shards, and that's a force back and a triple kill the way of Ysera.
Well, it's safe to say that that went better than expected for Insidious Idol. Brewmaster coming in as well. He was so close to his Primal Split mana, but his Magic Wand was still on cooldown. He actually got enough Magic Sticks charges because of Venomancer, of course, spamming out Plague Wards, Arcane Bolts from Skywrath Mage. But then he got silenced. So no Primal Split, no nothing. And clutch Venomous Gale, catching Alchemist there as well. So extremely well done. Nice dodge of Unstable Concoction with the Snowball of Tusk. And all in all, 6-4 now. And Ysera, is he going for a Hand of Midas as well? Sometimes Venomancers like to do that. Of course, can go for a mech as well, since KS, he's not getting it anytime too soon on the Razor.
A mech, in my mind, for Ysera could work out, but he needs to address his mana pool issue first if he wants to do that, since the mech is 150 mana cost, and Venomancer equally does have mana issues on his own, with the Poison Nova being 200 mana to start with. But from where we stand, as you say, much better than expected fight for Ysera, and he does have those Arcanes now, so it could certainly be a mechanism next for the Venomancer, but the level of damage coming out of those dots, it's just a terrible, terrible amount of damage, for lack of any other wording.
Well, at the moment, smoke up by Ohio and Extinct. Lasso is off cooldown, yeah, they wouldn't smoke otherwise, I guess. KYXY, I bet you he wants to use his Primal Split. He felt a little bit cheated not being able to use it last time around. And Slark, are his reactions going to be fast enough to just def back once the Lasso comes?
I think they might be. He jumps in. He didn't get it off in time, though. In comes, however, the counter. There comes the slow. But the Mass Serpent Wards are there. You get the Death Pact. He's going to leap out of the... leaps out of the wards, as well as uses the Shadow Dance to try to regen up a bit. And now we can see some potential to turn around. You've got the Frozen Sigil here. That's buying time. More importantly, stealing the damage from the Fire Panda. Bethel can equally survive this now. He has no real threats of this, but in comes WTF. Does drop a long-range concoction as well as max duration, but it does not matter. Ice Shards there. He gets caught out of position. Walrus Punch to end it. And well, what can I say? Shuriken?
Man, this Walrus Punch is such an epic ability. Ysera double damage. Oh my god, Batroider. Got the TP out back to base. Even the Poison Nova was used for that. If he had been like 1 second later with the TP, he would have gone down. But now, Tier 1 tower falls to Ysera's double damage. Mech picked up by Mushi's Viper when he gets a tower for himself. And I think one more item was picked up. Oh yeah, the Blink Dagger on Slark.
The Blink Dagger on Slark is the key thing here. That's going to help with the initiation so much. It means he won't have to be in the snowball, so he can come in from the side or flank from behind. It's going to add up here. And KYXY could be the target. He doesn't have Primal Split. The Concussive Shot flies through, but the tether is broken. The Shadow Shaman is backing him up as well. But in comes the aggressive Blink. They're looking for it. Bethel just kills them outright. Chaos there with that maximum damage coming out of the plasma field as well, and Ancient Seal's going to force back the Brewmaster, but it's a case of this Tier 1 is going to be the next order of business here for Insidious Idol, but across the other side of the map, on this top lane, Mushi looking to split push what he can, and he could be in a lot of trouble. Viper Strike's going to drop, but he uses the Snowball. He actually managed to disjoint that. In comes the Walrus Punch, and Mushi could fall here. All of his damage being drained away, and there's just no way out in my mind, especially with that Frozen Sigil. Just the too much in terms of slowing power. One more right click will seal the deal here, and Ice Shards used to clean that one up. Dominating spree for Shagosaurus, and this is the strength of a Tusk, ladies and gentlemen. He is everywhere. Snowball is such a powerful ability, and it is underestimated so many times.
Man, Tusk, Shagasaurus, what a player. 4-0-4, almost has his drums finished already, and somebody's Hand of Midas. It's Ysera, so Venomancer went for it a little bit later on. But I have to say Tusk, his jukes, his disjoints with the Snowball, excellently done. Frozen GG as well, and actually maxing that out at the moment, level 2 of it. Wow, I am legitimately impressed. But there's a Blink Dagger on KYXY now as well, so Brewmaster Initiation is definitely something you can't underestimate. And actually 4 staff on Ohio now already as well, man. This Batrider is farmed as well.
Farmed. Batrider is very farmed. He has just been picking off heroes left, right, and centre, and it's Ohio. I've come to expect this of him on whatever hero he plays. He gets rich, and it's a case of early Roshan time. Pop the Chemical Rage, Mass Servant Wards, and they're just going to invest time for it. But pings come out. Insidious Idols know this is happening. Are we going to see some kind of contest? I don't think we are. They can't really afford to. They're split up too much on this map. And equally, KS looking to push this top lane. He is backed up, of course, by Shagasaurus, lurking in the limbs and the wings there. Going to be going for a drum on himself as well. And once he's got that drum, he's going to start doing more and more damage with that Walrus Punch. That's a 350% crit, guaranteed. From where we sit, going to be an Aegis onto KYXY on that Brewmaster, and he is going to be the linchpin in my mind for Titan, considering Titan are being picked off slowly but surely with that Tusk, with that Walrus Punch, and most importantly just with the sheer level of damage coming out of Insidious Idol. It comes down to KYXY to try to get this initiation. He goes up on the primal split on this top line. Snowball comes in, doesn't connect to the Batrider though. Now we get the damage drain, but he gets put into the air. The Razor can't chase this one. Equally though, you get the chase. They look for the flame break, but don't manage it in time, so they loop back and they go into KS instead. He's shackled up. He's got the lasso on him, but he's still tanking up a fair amount. Does he have the mechanism? No, he doesn't. He's got a drum instead. Now comes the potential for turnaround. They don't have enough to drop another Thunderclap, but equally off the back of that, the Mystic Flare drops and they lose the Shadow Shaman. So it's a Venomancer for 2 at this point, and just in comes the potential to chase this one. They can force the Aegis. Do we have another Snowball starting? It's ready. It can fly, but I don't think they're going to use it, or rather, yes they are. Here we go. Going to go straight onto KYXY and bring him down if they can. All it'll take is the arrival of Bethel on this Slark, and that forces the Aegis. Equally Ohio, now in the tree line, trying to spread the fire as best he can. Stand in the fire all you like, they say, but now in comes the Alchemist, looking to finish with another one big crit out of KYXY. That finishes off that pesky little Tusk, but equally Z-Red and Bethel falling back. Do they want to re-engage this? Can they? Bethel full health and mana, and he's going to look and hunt for any stragglers, but I don't think they can afford to dive too far. I mean, KOXY back at full health and mana. Ohio's been forced back with no mana remaining, and if they go on any target, it'll be WTF, and he doesn't have Chemical Rage, so ideal target, sure, but doable? I don't think so.
Man, that was such a crazy fight. I completely lost target of actually how many kills even happened there. Oh, although I think I have a cheat. Wait. Okay, so 2 kills for each. That's what happened. Although Razor surviving all of that, it was extremely surprising, especially considering they actually don't have a mech yet.
See what I got to put up with, guys? My co-caster's cheating.
Of course not.
Now it seems we're going to see another fight going out. In comes Ohio. Looks for the blinking on Ysera. Doesn't quite get the lasso range, though. And now we get the turnaround. He does eat the Venomous Gale. And in the backlines, ooh, I thought that was potential for a fight there. But it was just a Thunderclap on creeps. The tier 1 could fall here very quickly, per se, as well. KS is lurking around. Equally, he has backup. He has major levels of backup, and we have a rotation coming down from Tusk as well. It is denied, however, by WTF on that Alchemist, so at least denying some of the gold to Insidious Idols. But Insidious Idols are looking to keep this siege going, keep the pressure up.
Well, at the moment, Insidious Idol, they're not looking bad, but really neither is Titan. Viper just continues to farm up with that Hand of Midas, but a 5-man smoke now. Man, I'm waiting for a 5-man snowball.
So am I. This is what I come to expect out of Insidious Idols. They play aggressive Dota, and they're just going to all go in. Ohio falls. There's no hope for that one, and now they're going to chase for Mushi, surely. But WTF on the backlines. He drops the concoction, but is it enough? KS taking a good amount of damage. In comes the Thunderclap and the Primal Split. That's going to be more than enough to finish off the Razor. In comes the Mystic Flare. Ysera will fall as well. They throw the Skyrath Mage in the air. The Slark in the backlines does pop his Dark Pact, as well as the Shadow Dance to buy some time, but he needs to escape this one. There's no hope, though. He can't pants out in time. It's a double kill for Bethel, a double kill for Mushi, and we equally still have KYXY brawling with Shagasaurus and Z-Red. Can they finish off KYXY in time before these Ice Shards fall? Ohio's rotating into this one. I don't think they can. and it's a case of everyone's going to back off. That's a 3 for 2, I want to say, at the end of the day. Maybe 3 for 1. But Ohio lurking. He's back in this fight. It was a 3 for 2. They're looking for Shagosaurus. They're going to grab the tusk, bring him back. But do we see the snowball? Is he going to be able to destroy it? Yes, he damn well is. He avoids the concoction, but can he escape with his life? I'm unsure of this. I don't think he can. He needs to get the hell out of dodge. But one right click coming out of Ohio on that Batrider does finish off the tusk. Make that a double kill for Ohio, managing to find the Skywrath Mage as well. Exactly what they needed, exactly what they found, and Titan, you cannot count them out, ever.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment Ohio, he actually died rather at the start of the fight, but he also bought back, and that buyback was 100% worth it. Without the Batrider, they wouldn't have been able to chase down the Tusk, and neither would have they gotten a kill up on the Skywrath Mage, I believe. So excellent buyback from Ohio. Early on, it doesn't really cost that much either, so not too much loss that way. And there's now a Medallion of Courage and WTF, and actually the just pure amount of minus armor that comes from him, from the acid spray as well as the Medallion. It's actually pretty damn devastating if anybody actually gets close enough for the right clicks.
Indeed, the negative armor is the thing that Titan have in spades. And you got to remember, negative armor scales exponentially. The more negative armor you have, the more effective it is. So Medallion early on with the Alchemist, perfect item. Throw in the Acid Spray as well, which is max rank. That's another -6. So that's already -12 armor across the board. Then throw in the physical damage of the Brewmaster, of the Viper, as well as Mass Serpent Wards. It adds up incredibly quickly. And as a effectively support Alchemist that's going to turn into a semi-carry at some point, an AC would be the item he looks for. And an AC, that's an extra 5 negative armor, and it will add up staggeringly. I did it again, didn't I? I used that word.
Yes, you did. But man, look at the graphs. Gold graph, it is more or less zeroed out. Not that huge of a swing, about 2,500 XP though. 4k swing, 3,000 now in Titan's favor. They're gonna grab the tier 1 tower, and Mushi on the Viper, he's only 250 gold, well a little bit more, but 280 gold away from his Aghanim Scepter. Also, he is only half a level away from being level 16. He is ridiculously just farmed in both gold as well as XP at the moment. And this Slark as the counterpart, well, he has an ultimate orb, so might even be a Lincoln Sphere against Batrider. Oh man, and speaking of Batrider, they're gonna get the last one to Bethel. The stun lock should be there, unstable concoction, shackles to follow up as well. Ice shards are now. That is an easy kill.
Yeah, he couldn't get the Dark Pact off or the Shadow Dance to buy him some time, but picking up that Slark as the extra kill, just as a pick-off before pushing a tower, that's a huge one. It deters the ability for Insidious artists to defend. Then again, they do have that Razor still, and the Razor almost has that mechanism, has a drum already, he can fight, and now we get the blink forward from Ysera, looking for Mushi, but they can't finish him off in time. They don't have the stuns without that snowball, and they just cannot get on point in time.
Well, once again, we see it. Just having only like one stun in your lineup, that's about it. Like Snowball, I do believe the Walrus Punch cancels TP as well, but I mean, you have 2 abilities. Woohoo! And those 2 are only on that one same hero. It's something that they're probably gonna struggle with through the entirety of this game. Just people TPing out, especially if that hero is as tanky as the Viper is.
I think you'll agree with me in this case. We're looking for Hex Gaming once more, but we're going to be looking for a kill on Ohio first. Now we have the rotations from Z-Red. Can he finish him off in time? Ancient Seal's going to fall off. The Blink is available for Ohio once again, and he's just going to get the hell out of dodge. But forcing Z-Red to chase now would mean going through the fire, and they don't want to risk that at all.
At the moment, Insidious Idol, they've been rotating around quite a lot, yet unable to find too much. And of course, Ysera as well. He has the Blink Dagger, but can he really jump in? He definitely can't be the first one to go in because he only has 900 HP. WTF, Chemical Rage activated, Glyph is there. And, well, they make Titan back off, but I don't think they will catch any kills.
Indeed, I don't think they will either, but from where we sit right now, Tier 1 potentially going to fall to this Catapult, but it'll be denied immediately by KS, and it's a very close game. It's a very tentative game as well. You've got a 2,000 gold lead the way of Titan, 3,000 gold lead the way of Titan, and 4,000 experience, but we're looking at one of the most gank-heavy teams I have ever had the joy to cast. And look at them. They're all around that Tusk. And I'm thinking it's Snowball time.
Unless Ohio gets the jump first, and Ysera, he's gonna get less OK XY. Thunderclap Ysera, well, he's brought down pretty damn fast. Now Shagosaurus stand up as well. Boulder Throw, Shackles to follow. Man, 2 easy kills. Viper Strike onto KS in the meantime. Razor, he can't do much of anything. Static Link, yes, but don't think it's gonna be enough. And yeah, he's gonna go down. 3-4-0. Mystic Flare onto Z-Red as well. Actually, rather Z-Red. Try to use it on a Bruling, which of course doesn't do anything.
That's the just sheer threat of the lineup of Titan. If they can get the initiation with that Batrider, with KYXY, it just is going to be too much in terms of damage. You've got the Lasso to lock the hero down, you've got Thunderclap, you've got Concoction. You saw how quickly that Venomancer died. And if Venomancer managed to survive long enough to get the Poison Over off, that would have been a completely different fight. But now off the back of that 4-man wipe, Titan are going to say, let's just get that tier 2. And that's their order of business. They're going to get this tier 2, maybe start poking at that tier 3, but it most likely will be a full 5-man retreat. Blink Dagger now available for WTF on their Alchemist. And this is the strength of the support Alchemist. He can just get farm. He has that value point up into Grievel's Greed. Anything he gets that little bit bonus.
Yeah,
and now he's got that Blink.
Extinct on the Shadow Shaman also only 300 gold away from the Blink, so once they finish that, suddenly 4 Blink Daggers. Just a crazy amount of initiation. They have some pretty nice vision as well at the moment, both aggressive, well, both rather aggressive. And that's exactly what they want to do. Every time they have Lasso on Batrider, they want to go for the champs, and so far it's worked out rather well for them. And in Insidious, the Slark, usually really snowball-focused hero. So far though, not off to the greatest of starts.
No, he isn't. We, in the first game, saw a much heavier ganking role, but they just haven't had the openings right now. And I know you love Blink Gaming, but Titan's lineup is effectively Blink Gaming incarnate. We're going to have a Blink Dagger for word failing me right now, Extinct, very soon. He's only 300 gold away. For KYXY, he has his Blink. He's going to be getting a BKB, and that's almost done. You got Blink Dagger Alchemist. You got, well, Batrider. 4 Blink Daggers, as you say, are going to be up. And speaking of Blink, they're going to find KS and they're going to bring him up to the high ground, stranding him there. And does he have a TP? Yes, he does, but it's just going to waste time. But equally, the Snowball, he actually uses the Snowball to pull him out. Now we see the potential for aggression. They go up to the high ground, but can they find anything off the back of this one? I don't think they can.
I really love that KS was in all chat like, wow, bro, who does that to another guy? Who drags him to the high ground? Oh man.
I wonder. This is, I think, is the second game in a row where we've seen that, considering Mushi got stranded on high ground in game number 2.
Yeah, it's kind of a payback. Not the same players involved, but the teams are the same, so at the moment though, in Insidious, although it's not looking that good for them, it's still not like Titan have a huge late game threat by any means. Mushi, yes, is actually 5k net worth above everybody else. So he can actually transition it as well, like Monkey King Bar into Butterfly, something along those lines. He can definitely just dish out right clicks as well, but it's not the scariest thing to look at.
No, it isn't, but this might be Mass Serpent Ward's Roshan. This is going to be a very hard one to contest, and I don't see Insidious Idol wanting to. But remember how this game started? It was 9-4 kills to deaths in favour of Insidious Idols. It's now 13-16 to Titan, as well as an Aegis on the deck. Who's carrying the Aegis? Gonna be Mushi. So they're looking to shunt down this middle lane, and with the Viper, Aghanims, Mechanism, has a Midas, as well as 3,800 gold in the bank. What's he go for next? Butterfly? Just some sheer levels of right-click damage? It's an option, but would a BKB equally be a wise idea? I don't think it's actually necessary, considering how tanky that Viper actually is with an Aghanims. I don't think you need to BKB, even against Mystic Flare.
Well, I guess somewhere along the line, when Yesera level 16 has an Aghanim Scepter potentially on the Venomancer, then you might be looking at one, and actually KYXY went for one just preemptively already. Brewmaster whip, or I guess he just wants to make sure that he doesn't get silenced, that he can actually get his ultimate off.
I'd completely agree, but now we get the jump in from Ysera, looking to kill what he can. He drops the Venomancer, the Gale, doesn't get anything else. The Poison Over's not enough either. Stolen damage by KS, but where's the initiation? KYXY lurking nearby. They got the Batrider. Everyone is ready to fight. However, on the back lines of this fight, they do lose the Shadow Shaman to Bethel, who's doing that let's hunt the back lines play of the Slark, and it's what the Slark that surpasses everyone else at. Being able to sneak in the back lines, get a kill or two, and then just run the hell away. But now, well, it seems like Titan want to disengage. They don't want to really risk this without their Shadow Shaman, and the gank lineup could potentially start to ball out of control here, but Mushi could be the target. Viper Strike drops into KS, but of course the Unstable Current's going to slow this down at least a little bit. WTF throws another stun onto KS, but again, Unstable Current doing some work, but it does not matter at this point. They cannot catch either of these two heroes. They're just going to TP out, and even with Bethel there with the pounds, they can't finish it off in time. And Tusk, what does Tusk kill in the meantime? Batrider went down in the lane.
Yeah, I actually had my eyes on that fight instead. It was the Batrider, Ohio. He actually didn't even leave. You can see where the trees have been cut with his Firefly. He was continuously following the Tusk. And just as Slark and the others initiated up onto, I believe it was the Viper, right?
Yep.
Then he jumped in, dragged Chegosaurus back with the lasso, but Ysera had already rejoined the fight. So they got the slows and kind of kited him around and just got the kill.
Well, from where we stand right now, let's take a quick look at the graphs, because this is a very back and forth game. 5k, 7.5k lead roughly for Titan. That's going to start declining if they keep getting picked off like that. Equally, same for Experience. You can see the graph starting to take that downward slide, but Team Blink Dagger. Now we've got Blink Daggers available for the Tusk. Who else has a Blink on the Radiant side? We've got a Blink as well as a Skadi on Bethel. This is seriously going to add up, and we even have a Blink Dagger on Ysera. That makes 7 out of 10 Blink Daggers, ladies and gentlemen. And we're 28 minutes in, and we've had so much action that I forgot to switch over to net worth. So there's your net worth. That's a 16k net worth Viper.
Well, it's safe to say that Mushi, he's extremely farmed. Actually has a Monkey King bar finished, I believe. Yeah, it's flying out now, the double javelin. So his right clicks are going to do quite a lot. The mini stuns coming out, as well as the extra damage from those procs. But at the moment, 3 Blink Daggers versus 4. That's absolutely sick. Not every day you see so many Blink Daggers. We are blessed every now and then with just such great mobility. But at the moment, in the fights, I still think like in a proper brawl, 5-on-5 fight, Titan, they should be a lot stronger. Just because both KYXY as well as Mushi, it's so hard to actually kill those heroes.
I'll completely agree with that one, and now we do have the potential for another brawl starting up here. Mushi, he is down here with that MKB. We've got KS, got to start poking and prodding at him, but do you really want to antagonize the Viper when he's got that much farm? That's 16,000 net worth versus 10,000 the next highest, and that's on the Venomancer. Razor is all the way down at position 5 on that board, and now in we go. Blink Daggers, they're going to drop the Mass Servant Wars. They're just going to commit and bring down this tier 2. Can we see a fight off the back of this one? I don't think we will. It's going to be a disengage. They're going to sack that tower. I don't see them being able to hold this at all.
Yeah, Ohio, he was definitely just trying to hope to get anybody at all. Since, of course, they had vision of mid lane. Bethel, together with Shagasaurus, were pushing out that tower. They did. Or actually, was there even a tower? No, I guess not. So, not even a tier 1 tower mid lane. So they were just pushing it out, nothing else. So, tier 2 for nothing.
Yeah, and from where we sit right now, that does put, of course, everything in advantage of Titan. Taking away the map control, taking away the easy access Roshan towers for the Radiant side. Insidious Idols are on the back foot, don't get me wrong. They are completely on the back foot, but they need something to fight off the back of this. They don't have any drum charges left on Shagasaurus, and they do pop the smoke. Bethel on this Slark could look for a fight right now. And do we see the potential for a pouncing? Certainly could do, but where is the potential for a turnaround is my question. We need to see some kind of initiation. We need to see some kind of kill potential. Insidious Idols' team evolve around pushing, as well as getting kills. They're a gank-oriented push line. If they can't get the ganks, this doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, they're just desperately looking for some. They might even find them. Plague Wards, I'm not too sure if it gave vision on WTF. It is nighttime after all. Oh man, I don't think they'll find anything. Plague Wards now, they find KYXY, but they're not in a position anymore to actually surprise them.
No, not anymore, but they're just littering the jungle full of Plague Wards, and that's going to at least help. And I partly wonder what Insidious Idols hope to gain out of it, because if they look to push this top tier 2 and force TP reactions, they could, but equally you do have the entire lineup of Titans starting to focus on that middle lane. And that middle lane doesn't have a tier 2 still standing. It's a case of, we're just going to go for your tier 3 if they want to trade like this. Now we see the potential for a smoke up. They've shown themselves in the mid. Now they're passing all the wards. The line is drawn. Can Ohio and the rest of Titan find anything off the back of this one? They're going to find a Tusk. That's an aggressive blink, and it does not matter. Tusk will go down here. Shagasaurus cannot escape it, especially with that damage potential coming out of KYXY. Holy hell.
Yeah, I just really liked that Ohio actually didn't just go in with LS, so they knew that, man, we have 4 Blink Daggers on our team. The follow-up will be there anyway. No need to waste a just ultimate, and now they can actually go for the tier 2 tower, which is the last remaining outer tower for Insidious Idol and Titan. They're holding on to just all the map control in the world almost at the moment. Yes, there are some pretty nice wards for Insidious Idol as well, but it doesn't help them at all when the push is coming towards the lane where they have 0 of it.
Very true, and now we have that threat of initiation here. We're looking for Team Blink over the top of this tower should anyone try to defend this, but with Mass Serpent Wards down, again, you cannot defend that. That's incredibly hard to stop. I mean, can you blink into that, really, if you're Insidious Idols? I don't think you can, and you've got the Batrider continuing to mess around. Ohio's just going to force stuff about, looking for what he can find, but he can't find nothing off the back of that.
Okay, yes, though, will get himself a courier, so nice gold gained, although can he actually make it out from their TP? Yeah, it's going to be a success. Nothing on the courier, though. BKB finished for KS in the meantime, and Razor. He's actually level 16 as well, so level 3 ultimate. Venomancer only half a level away from an Aghanims boosted Poison Nova.
I'd completely agree with that one.
Oh, bottom lane, they're going to get the Lesson to Slark. He can't get enough. Actually, can he survive? No, he cannot, man. He can't Primal Split expand.
But in mid lane, equally, we do have another brawl going on. Mushi gets caught out of position, but in comes Extinct, looking for that mass serpent ward. Doesn't have him, instead drops the shackles onto Chaos, buying some time, but Mushi will still fall. There's no escape from this. That's 630 gold going the way of the Skywrath Mage. And now Extinct will equally go down to the Shards of Tusk. And now we're seeing the kills. This is what we were looking for a while ago. And could we be seeing a push towards that middle lane? Do we have an Aghanims on the Razor? No, we don't. So there's going to be no other storm damage on this tower, but it's a case you got your creep wave, you got your frozen sigil once again, and it's a case of this tower will go down. I don't think it can be defended, not without the Viper or Shadow Shaman. And equally, do we have any split push going on? No, we don't. Titan can't split push this one. And where is the next brawl going to come from? We have the potential for more of a fight. All the cooldowns on the Tusk are very short. We could just look for a rotation towards that top lane next and more push, more fights, more brawls. But here raises my question. Roshan's up in 30 seconds. Do you reckon it's a case of time for Roshan? Or are we just going to see the push continue?
Well, I think Titan, they're just going to grab Roshan for themselves, having the tire advantage, of course, and I mean, just when they're grouped up, Insidious Idol, we're seeing it for the towers, for two tier 2 towers now, that Insidious Idols, they just like, screw these guys, we can't defend the tower anyway. And I think the same might apply to Roshan if Titan is actually there in full force.
I completely agree with that. If Titan are there in full force, very difficult to stop. But Viper's going to be back up in 7 seconds, and now we have potential for more of a show of force coming out of Titan. Are we going to see a mid lane push, or are they just going to be content farming up? Because late game, Titan have the advantage. The Alchemist will propagate into a semi-carry. We have the damage potential of course, the Viper. The Batrider for lockdown. I like Titan's draft late game a little bit more. Sure, you have the Slark, who has himself a Skadi, and now going for a BKB on Bethel, but I'm not sure this is going to be enough. I'm really not.
Yeah, it's most likely not. Especially since, like you said, the Alchemist can just get himself to that semi-carry role, or in the late game just the proper carry even. As, oh man, Ohio got to blink into the trees. Was safe, and suddenly Roshan, man, such an easy pickup.
Indeed, when you've got 3 heroes showing top lane, it's a case of, yep, we'll take Roshan for themselves. They even can invest the Mass Serpent wards. Extinct has pretty much used these wards effectively on cooldown, and that's another Aegis going on to Mushi. And this is a big problem for Insidious Idols. They need to take the next fight perfectly. They need to lock down this Brewmaster. They cannot allow him to primal split. Equally, they need to burst down the Bat or the Alchemist. One of them will offer too much control. And from where I sit, the Alchemist does more in terms of the negative armor he also applies to the battlefield. So the next fight has to be taken on Insidious Idols' terms, or it could be all over. That is a big could, but I wouldn't underestimate Insidious Idols at any point.
Yeah, and actually at the moment Insidious Idol, they were using Slark to just deward as well. KYXY, he has the cheese, so initiating onto him is going to be extremely hard and might not be the best decision, although they will get the slow, the silence to follow up as well. They're just buying time for the tower to fall.
Indeed, but in comes the Viper Strike. KS could be the potential target for a turnaround here. Blink Daggers are all coming online. Now we get the jump in. Primal Split. It's all time for a fight, but Extinct's going to go down. He cannot escape, as well as the BKB being popped by KS to try to TP out. Doesn't manage to do so. Will get brought down by that last Sue and the sheer damage potential out of the Titan lineup, but it's a 1-for-1 trade and a tier 2 in favor of Insidious Idols.
Well, I mean, tower went down, so economically Insidious Idols, they came out ahead. But since Razor, he is already rather far behind, at least compared to Mushi. I mean, Mushi is pretty much doubling him. So this Razor, I'm not too sure if he's ever gonna get to that scary stage where he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna go in, steal all the damage, have the Eye of the Storm, maybe double of it, and actually be a force to be reckoned with. Especially now that Mushi finishes up a Heart of Tarask. What the hell is gonna kill that guy?
I don't know. I really don't. That's a 3.1k health Viper. Heart, MKB, Ags, Aegis, Mech. Mushi is going to be nigh invulnerable. Is gold per minute? Let's take a look. Gold per minute, 634 on a Viper. Of course, he did have that Midas, which would help, but it's only recently started to paying for itself.
And actually, he put it on the courier now. I actually want to see him not selling it, but bringing it out to him, swapping out some item and then using it again, because he will lose the Aegis anyway at some point, so no point to sell the Hand of Midas.
So you want to see a 7-slot Mushi?
Yeah, man. Oh, but top lane KY, so he might be in some trouble. They use the Water Sponge Bethel, actually activates the Shadow Dance, slows down Ohio, but they won't get the kills.
Unfortunately, they won't. The Slark, while he does have the ability to steal a large amount of stats as well as the ability to fight, but he actually finds Extinct right now. That's actually a really good kill, considering it was a mass serpent wards as well. That's absolutely perfect. Now they're going to look for KYX one. Mystic Flare to drop. He did get silenced, but he's going to pop his BKB. He should be safe off the back of this one, but the Frozen Sigil still will slow you, even through a BKB, and he's in a lot of trouble. He really is, but the Frozen Sigil is going to time out, and he should be safe. He used that cheese as well. Now you get the blink in from Ysera. The Ice Shards don't connect, unfortunately, and could we be looking for more of a fight? He gets the slow. Now we get the snowball. Looking to bring down KYX, so that would be huge. Primal Split, however, now to be invested in. This might be enough to disengage at this point, but equally, we have another fight going on, and they lose the Razor to the rest of the lineup from Titan. And this has all gone sideways. In the meantime, you do have KYXY just killing everything. Double kill up for him.
Well, it's safe to say Insidious Idol, they stuck around for way too long. KYXY, of course, having the cheese helping him survive the first time, but Primal Split, and well, there's not enough physical damage for Insidious Idol, at least not without the Razor being present to actually kill the Brewlings. And now AC finished on that support Alchemist. He's level 16, has the level 3 as the... Oh man, Bethel mid lane actually slowed down. Will they get the LSO? Yes, they will. Let it bring down the Slark. It's gonna be huge. He has buyback though, but just making him spend it already is a victory in itself.
Indeed, but off the back of that one, they only invested the lasso there to kill, really. And Mushi's just standing on this front line, up on this high ground. He's just tanking up everything. Equally, though, we do have that threat of a tier 3 falling, and now we get the blink in aggressively. WTF was looking for what he can, gets 4 stuffed out, but in comes the Poison Nova, as well as the Mystic Flare. This is good damage, but is it enough? They bring down Mushi, but he's got an Aegis. He's going to come back into this one. WTF will be the focus, and he will fall. Equally, though, in comes Extinct, finishes off the Venomancer with that Ether Shock, and now Extinct could fall, but equally, Tusk goes down first. Bethel trying to do what he can, but he just doesn't have the attack speed, he doesn't have the damage. They finish off the Shadow Shaman, sure, but this is a trade going so heavily the way of Titan off the back of this one so far. Mushi, if he goes down again, though, it will help. They get the pounce, that's enough, but can they bring him down in time? Bethel still being able to be fairly tanky, and all the damage being stolen away by Chaos. BKB forced by that as well. Now we get another aggressive blink from Ysera, looking for more with that Poison Nova and the Gale, but not catching anyone. They lose at the end of that. They hold the tier 3. The tier 3 still stands. Equally, the tier 3 on this top lane is going to be pressured a little bit by the wave, but it does not matter. That's going to be cleaned up. And what was that in the end of the day? That was, I want to say, 3 for 3 and 2 buybacks. So it does favor Titan a little bit, but the Aegis was used. The Aegis equally got popped. So nearly equal, I want to say, off the back of that fight.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good defense for Insidious. Yes, 2 buybacks were there, of course, tilting it in their favor a little bit, but that's always what you have to consider when pushing high ground. The enemy will have buybacks, or at least they might have them. And Ysera's Poison Nova doing a lot of work, and actually Mushi, he was more or less useless in that fight. He started right-clicking at the start, but then he was like, am I going to right-click? He was actually spending a lot of time turning around, just figuring out whether he wants to run or right-click. But the Poison Nova or the Venom Escape from Ysera actually slowing down the turn rates and everything, so he just didn't do anything. He didn't run away properly, he didn't damage properly, and just got chased down by the end.
Indeed, but I'll point this out. If we look at net worth right now, the cores of Insidious Idols are starting to become big and threatening. If we look, say, at the Razor, he almost has that Aghanim Scepter. He actually has that Aghanim Scepter now, and he'll finish that up. If we look over at the Venomancer, he's got an Aghanims. He's going to most likely pick up a Veil of Discord next. He's going to probably get rid of the Midas for that Veil, but the Veil is the right choice. It's going to add such a staggeringly large amount of damage over time, specifically, and that it's going to be incredibly scary for this next fight for Titan, considering all of these big items are coming online. We've got that 4-star for Z-Red. He could potentially look for an Atos should he get the gold. And over on the Slark, he has his BKB flying out to him now as well. And that was the big problem for Bethel. He didn't have any way of magic immunity. Now he's got that BKB. We could be looking for another brawl, another fight. He needs attack speed at this point. After this, do we look for a Butterfly? Do we look for a Sanjin Yasha? Either are good options here. I should think Butterfly is going to be better. But from where we sit, this game is by no means over. Not by any stretch of the imagination.
Of course, man. 65 minutes, not a single second less. Well, I mean, Titan, they're definitely in a more solid position than they were in the last game, I think. And they've actually smoked up as 5 now. WTF still holding on to his Assault Cuirass, of course. And it's just such a huge item to have on a support.
Indeed it is, and it turns the Alchemist into effectively a semi-carry. He can really start chopping, and all he really needs now is a Basher to nearly lock down a hero on his own. But with this smoke being popped, as a 5-man rotation, I'm wondering if it isn't time to kick this game into another gear. But then again, ships in the night, another smoke, another 5-man smoke, this time for Insidious Idols, and they're charging up this top lane. They're going to look through the jungle, but they're not going to find anything. It's a case of they're checking each other's jungles, and from where we sit, it's just each team looking for that opening. And it's a good thing in all honesty. We're seeing back and forth across the board, 22 to 25. This is a seriously close game, and from where we sit, it's utter carnage in the making.
Yeah, and when the smoke in Seaside, they're going so damn far, but off the rails, unfortunately, Ohio. Oh man, he was so close to actually coming in to push out the lane. He was almost there, just as the smoke broke and and Slark went to farm out the wave. Like 10 more seconds, and they would have ran into Batrider.
All it would need is that little bit of positioning, but it's a case of ships in the night. They don't find anyone, and now we see the TP's back to the base to try to hold this. And we do see the rotation to defend that top tier 3, which is got a sizable creep wave starting to march down on it, but KYX was going to be there to intercept that. And just look at Extinct. He's just lurking in the pit, waiting for Roshan. That's going to be up in under a minute now. So with Roshan being the next order of business, I think it's a case of it's going to be a Roche pit fight. I have that gut feeling. Time for a Roche pit fight.
Well, Roche pit fights are always fun, and of course, that allows the Venomancer to just blink into everybody, Poison Nova, level 3, Aghanim Scepter buffed, and get it onto all targets. And is there really only one BKB? Actually, 2 BKBs, Ohio has these as well. But all the other 3, maybe Alchemist will be able to reach him through it with the Chemical Rage. But everybody else, even Wushi, I mean, 3.3k HP, but that Poison Nova being level 3 Aghanims, it does a ridiculous amount of damage.
Indeed, and that damage will seriously start to add up, and it is Roshan time once again. Mass Serpent Wards to be commit. With that negative armor of the Acid Spray, Roshan's going to fall incredibly quickly. I mean, all this negative armor really does add up, and he's alive for less than 20 seconds. Roshan is a sad man, and that's another cheese in this game. That's the 4th Roshan of this game, ladies and gentlemen. These teams are just going to step it up into another gear. We're looking for a big fight, a big cacophony of action.
Yeah, and the next set of items is coming out as well. And actually, Ohio, can they find him? Bethel? Oh no. Pounce misses. Man, BKB blink out by Ohio just in case. But Mushi has his Manta Style finish now. Another 1.5k on top of it. Shiva's card is there on KYXY. I think the next fight, unless Titan they just go diving tier 4s, it should definitely end in the mid lane racks falling.
The mid lane racks falling will be the target of opportunity here for Titan, but they're just going to take the jungle, deprive the enemy of it, and then start to pressure this mid lane. But equally, we look up top, Shagasaurus is continuing to split push a little bit. He is working on a BKB of his own, and he does need to be careful because we could see rotation going up to him, but no, he's just going to TP out. He doesn't really want to risk this, and you do have Mushi floating around in this middle lane, as well as KYXY and Extinct. They could look to brawl, they could look to fight, especially considering they have Ohio ready to start this entire mess. If he blinks to the high ground and catches maybe Ysera or Shagasaurus, it could be an absolute catastrophe for Insidious Idols, and they have played so well in this series. Yeah. It's all down to this next fight in my mind.
Oh, some server lags for me at the very least, but it's fine now. And Ohio, he's being so patient at the moment, trying to go for the openings, and of course just high ground when there's a wall of Plague Wards, it's always going to be annoying to go into.
Indeed, it's going to be annoying, but all it will take is that blink initiation and then 4-staff out with, say, a nice juicy Venomancer, and you could have the potential for a tier 3 in Rax. But, of course, I will have to say on the flip side of this coin, the damage potential out of Insidious Idols and their ability to lock down targets, sure, it's not as good as Titans, but they can bring down the key targets quickly with the crit of the Walrus Punch. If they can bring down, say, KYXY, or they can bring down Mushi. Mushi's the harder target, of course, with nearly 3,500 HP. They can look to defend fairly easy, but they have to remember there is another Aegis on the battlefield right now. An Aegis and a Cheese on, most importantly, Mushi and KYXY, respectively. But here we go. Do we see the potential to start this one? Mass Summon was to be commit. It's going to be a case of if they don't defend this now, they're going to lose Rax. Ancient Seal, sorry, Frozen Sigil to drop, and now in comes the blink from Ysera. They drop the Gale, but in comes Ohio, grabs back Ysera. He's going to go down immediately. Tusk tries to buy some time, doesn't manage to do so. Equally, Mystic Level drop, can't find anything off the back of that one. And KYX just on the Unstoppable 3, 2 immediate buybacks, but the Rax are still falling. They're going to lose the melee Rax, and now we've got damage being stolen by Chaos. But all this damage being stolen does not matter. KYX still doing a good amount. He pops his cheese, buying more time, but time isn't enough in this case. He's going to pop his BKB Walrus Punch into the midair. All the BKBs in the world. In comes the Primal Split. KYX on a wicked stick, has that double Thunderclap, of course. course, with the Aghanim Scepter. Now they're going to look for Bethel and the Razor. Razor in midair. Can they bring Bethel down? No, he's going to be away from this one in more than enough time, but it's a case of time to turn around and get those racks, ladies and gentlemen. First full set of racks will be picked up, and Ysera will at least manage to finish off the Shadow Arm with the dot, but Mushi, he will get the Aegis Force off the back of trying to retreat. That's the threat of the Slug. Blinks in, catches that pounce, and now in comes KO X-Ray once more. Maybe a ballsy play by him, gets caught in the Mystic Flare, and he'll take a fall, but just look, Mushi is still standing. He's going to try to bring down Bethel. The Shadow Dance is there, but it is nowhere near enough. Buyback, of course, by the Razor. He wants to come back into this one and fight, but I don't think they can finish Mushi a second time. I really don't think they can.
Yeah, indeed they cannot. So what was it? 3 buybacks from Insidious Idol. The entire team wiped as well, at least once. And Mushi actually cased. Does he really still want to keep on going? Viper Strike is there. Mushi is just man fighting in Static Link though. Will make it a lot harder. Bethel, he comes in as well. He will have the pounce to just slow Mushi down. And KS, will he go down? Yes, he will, man. Mushi just Nether Toxin doing their work, although he's still not in the clear. Nice flame break from Ohio, and the right clicks. They're actually going to be enough. Another Viper Strike Bethel. He goes down before the Shadow Dance just activates properly.
Double kill for Mushi, and he's got negative 196 damage. Now, even if you steal all the Viper's damage, he will still hurt you, just because of Nether Toxin and Poison Attack. You cannot underestimate those two abilities. They seriously do add up. And now we get another Blink Aggression. They grab Shagasaurus. He's going to be the target here for Mushi, and Mushi's going to recover all of his damage right the hell now. Mushi picks up another mega kill spree for him, and now you've got Extinct rotating in, and G is called. Titan take head of Group A.
Yeah, I mean, everybody was expecting it, but it was a lot harder for them than most people would have thought. I mean, Insidious Idol, they gave them a huge run for their money, and man, I'm just a little bit sad that Awake actually didn't play game number 2 against Titan, since they did win game 1 after all.
I will agree with you there. That could have been one hell of a game, but still, things happen, and going into this one, Titan, they take it. They got to advance as Group A as a victor. That means second place will be Insidious Idol, I believe. And from where we sit, we got the semi-finals at 7 p.m. SGT, which I believe is CEST plus 6.
Yes, it is. So 13 CEST.
And I'm looking forward to those semi-finals. That's going to be a phenomenal series. And what can I say, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you for joining us here on HeflaTV. If you like what we do, feel free to follow us at HeflaTV on Twitter, on Twitch. We're HeflaTV's 1 through, I believe, 7, as well as Heflamoke. You can find me at Mr_Blackadder on Twitch and Twitter. And where can they find you, Coach?
It's at Coacher on both Twitter as well as Twitch, so should be easy enough to find.
So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for one hell of a series of games. And we look forward to seeing you next time here on HeflaTV.